Welcome back. This is Mirnaya, Defiler Tour number 59, and this is game 1 of the Grand Finals. It's going to be a PVT between Neagle, who won the Winners' Finals, and Boss Weekly, who qualified from the Losers' Round. So it's a best of 5, but because Neagle came from the Winners' Bracket, he begins the entire series being 1-0 up. The map is going to be Fighting Spirit. Let's get started. Weekly spawns at the 8 o'clock position on Fighting Spirit, or let's call it 7 o'clock, as the brown Terran. And Neagle spawns as the teal Protoss at the 5 o'clock position. Neagle less so, but Weekly spamming away at a rather ridiculous speed. And first gateways out for Neagle. All in all, these two players have seemed to be nice floating and or moonwalking SCV for a while between the command center and the supply depot. These two players seem to be the most stable of the players I've seen. I started watching during the starting from the semi-finals. So these two players definitely, both of them deserve to be in the Grand Finals. Barracks is going down at the natural choke point as well as a depot, so this tells me that Weekly might try to sneak in a fast command center. Well, we saw what happened to Terror when he tried to do that. I sincerely hope that Weekly will fare better than that. In the meanwhile, core is almost done for Neagle. Weekly scouts cross positions first to see if he should. Oh, but it's not to see if he should proceed with the command center or not, because he already has. Neagle has not scouted yet. I believe in basically all of his games he scouted quite late. Goon Rage is upgrading, and yet again Neagle is going to go to gate before Nexus. Which direction is Weekly going to take? The correct one. So on the second attempt he's going to find Neagle, but the Dragoon is already in position. And now Neagle is scouting out with his probe. Bunker going up at the natural for Weekly. As he and what? That there's a building that was cancelled. Probably. Why would a building get cancelled? Was that just a careless escape, or something more in depth? Okay, first two Dragoons are out and are going to walk across the map to Weekly's natural. They actually managed to miss the SCV that was going out. If Weekly's going for a fast third, this could be slightly deadly. Is range done yet? Oh, almost done. So the Dragoons have to wait until they get range so they can start firing away at the bunker. One Dragoon is always kept at the ramp to keep scouting SCVs out. Yep. Here comes another one, and it will not make it into the base either. Dragoon range finishes, so the two goons can start firing away at the bunker. And there's 3 goons more SCVs will need to be called down. And there's indeed a third one coming. Actually, I think Neagle Micros can start shooting at one of the SCVs. But the bunker is kept in good shape. But more and more Dragoons are going out, and this is when Neagle decides to expand. The 4th Dragoon is not in a position to fire at the bunker. Now he is. It is. But there are... Okay, there's... The biggest damage they have done is that right now there are 5 SCVs not mining. But if the bunker holds, I believe the advantage that the fast command center offers can outweigh this. However, the Dragoons decide to go for it and just massacre the SCVs that were stationed to repair the bunker. 4 more arrive. The Dragoons go back and all are alive. So that was definitely very well done by Neagle. What's going on in Boss's base? The first tank is about to roll out, and siege mode is almost done. So basically, by the time it's out, siege mode will be done, and that is going to spell the end of this Dragoon barrage. Oh, there's the first tank. I'm sorry. It's already out and already in position. Siege mode is done. Very nice position for the tank, and the Dragoons have to go back, and they do before taking a second shot from the tank. Another scouting SCV, and this time there is no Dragoon at the ramp, so he sees the expansion and sees that there are 2 gates. The robo is finished, the citadel is going up, and as well as the observatory, and there is the probe transfer to the natural. So 5 Dragoons out of the 6 that went to harass or to poke at Weekly's natural, 5 of them made it back, which I believe is a good number. I've seen players lose many more than that. I especially like that he was keeping an eye on them all the time, and he drew them back after 1 siege tank shot. Okay, Stargate and Archives going up as normal. So again, I believe it's going to be Arbiters on 2 base. The game has stabilized somewhat, but if you look at the supply, you can see that those 5 SCV kills, and especially the fact that those SCVs had to be stationed around the bunker for a very long time, and then 4 other SCVs had to be stationed, have taken their toll on Weekly's economy. Why would you be upgrading infantry armor in a TVP, especially since you're... What? Oh, okay. Grand finals or not, Weekly decided to be fancy and go for a mass bio switch against Protoss. In large numbers, they can be very effective against Zealots and Dragoons, but obviously Reavers and Storm are going to eat them alive. Speaking of which, how are Reavers and Storm? Storm is not being researched. The Arbiter Tribunal is done, by the way. And I do not see a support bay. Well, so far in the games, like I said, Neagle went very Zealot Dragoon heavy with Arbiter support. So if that is the case, a big bio switch might not be, especially if there are still some reinforcing tanks, might not be completely useless, but I think as soon as Neagle discovers that Weekly has gone for a bio build, I don't think he knows there's one observer and that's positioned way outside. And there is turret coverage as well. He will definitely go for heavy AoE units. Okay, some Dragoons are poking in, but there's there are enough siege tanks to hold this back, or to make any attack on the natural not be worthwhile. Still no storm, or even if he got it, I don't think he got it because then he would be making Templar. Zealot speed is being upgraded, which, if this is serious, is going to be useful against stimmed infantry. And Neagle is very nicely and safely setting up for a third base. This is kind of proof that he doesn't know that Weekly went bio, because this is vulture defense, these pylons here. And I think if with a bio switch it's going to be Marine Medic Tank. Okay, I'm assuming Stim is done, range is almost done. And now Neagle has to know. Normally you would never see Marines, and if he clicked on them, you would never ever see +1 armor Marines past 10 minutes in a PvT, even if he didn't see how many of them there were. But oh, they passed below an observer, what am I talking about? So he definitely knows that he's facing a heavy bio push. And what's also curious is that after this push, should it not fail, is Weekly planning on continuing with infantry, or is he going to switch back to the more normal mech play against Protoss? And I forgot to... Oh, big battle, sorry. We'll talk about tech later. Zealots run in, and 3 tanks get stasis, which seems to be enough for the attack to get thoroughly crushed. Ooh, so many Zealots left still. That's at least a control group and a half, maybe even 2 full control groups of Zealots. And they start chasing whatever remains of Weekly's army back towards his natural, and there are a few Zealots trying to medics and bucking out slightly. Medics go down and the Zealots run into the natural. Let's see how much damage they can do. I think if Neagle commits, he can win right here. In the meanwhile, the tanks gets unstasis and are going to get done by more Zealots. Okay, more bio was constructed, obviously, since the Weekly needed reinforcements quickly, and they are doing quite a good job against the Zealots, I must say. Yep. Neagle actually has to abandon his assault of Weekly's natural to regroup, and that gives some breathing space for Weekly. He can again go and try and set up defensive positions at the bridge. I believe he would still badly need tanks. Okay, he is making tanks. Arbiters are still being constructed, and Neagle is rebuilding his army as fast as he can. He still has a good 50 supply lead over Weekly, and that's quite a big number. Especially since he mostly has bio and way fewer tanks, and by that I mean, okay, 2 tanks accompanying the push. So he's not as strong defensively as he would be had he gone for mass tanks. Okay, he sets up not too good defensive positions. Nice stasis, catching a lot of Marines. But the bio is proven to be kind of effective. Protoss would really do well to get AoE in it. When there are these moderate numbers of Marine Medic against Goons and Zealots, the Marine Medic actually does quite well, as you can see. They are doing way more damage to the Zealot Dragoon army than what Protoss is used to. in PvT. I mean, he's used to how effective their Dragoons and Zealots are, and this is way below that level of efficiency. Um, Weekly moves out to assault the natural, and see what I mean by vulture defense. Marines walks right past between the pylons, and a lot of probes are getting massacred. And with that, Weekly has actually succeeded in kind of evening up the supply, which is quite a feat, I must say. And he's sieging down the Nexus, which is going to fall. Is it possible that there is no Reaver and no Storm yet? Is anything making Templar? No. Okay, it's just Zealot Goon against Marine Medic and the occasional siege tank. Weekly, while still behind the supply, has managed to destroy Neagle's third, and Neagle is moving out for a attack, quite a nice arc, and manages to strand and will take this army up, since the other half, well, a few Marines remaining, but in any case, Weekly was spread quite thin. So both players are on 2 base now. Weekly is still pumping Marines and medics out of 6 racks, and tanks out of his, I believe, single factory. Does he have an armory even? No, he doesn't, so he cannot go past +1/+1. Yeah, okay, he does have +1/+1, but that's it. And obviously, since he doesn't have an armory, he cannot upgrade tanks at all. Finally, Templar! Oh yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about when I say that Storms eat infantry alive. That was Exhibit A. I don't think that needs much of an explanation. So the bulk of Weekly's army has been crushed, and Neagle is quite free to move out and attempt to lay siege on the natural, but he decides not to. Would he decide to retake his third? Is there a probe? There's several probes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rather blind. He has taken a hidden base at the 12 o'clock. And the probes are transferring there, and I don't know if it has been scanned by Weekly. Just a moment. No, it definitely hasn't. He might have scanned the army movement, he might have seen probes. Okay, the Marine just died, and he must have seen the probes, if Weekly was paying attention. Also, there's an Archon now, which is also a unit that is rather effective against Marine Medic, but it needs buffer. Okay, beautiful stasis. Splits the army in half. Another beautiful stasis. And a storm on the remainder of the army to add insult to injury. So, even though Weekly was doing well for a while, with the addition of AoE to Neagle's army, the roughly 50 supply difference has been restored between the two players. At almost exactly the same numbers as well, by the way. And, yep, the Protoss army is taking up position to slaughter the Marines once the stasis breaks. Well, there we go. Well, that was close. Being surrounded by strong melee units and also by Tonic Dragoons is rarely worth it. So, looks like the back and forth continues with Weekly pushing out from time to time again and getting crushed by Neagle, but Neagle never so far not having gotten decisive advantage and could not break Weekly's natural. However, well, Weekly is now mined out in his main and is about to get mined out at his natural. And it's going to be very difficult for him to secure a third place, I believe. Well, let's see what he can do. He's doing very nice spreads of small clumps of units, and the tank spread is rather amazing. And oh, there's one tank that wanders in there that's basically a donation. Okay, let's see how the attack goes. First storm is good. There's still some clump marines, and the tanks are basically swept away by the charging zealots and an Archon, except for the one that was donated. So again, the Weekly has very, very few units left, and now the supply lead is almost 80. So Neagle is extremely far ahead, and well, still no armory, but it doesn't really matter since Weekly is going to be mined out very soon. Whereas Neagle is pretty much free to expand wherever he wants. Yep, he's taking 4th base. He's on many, many gateways. And is this just +1? Yeah. Okay, so the Terran army is better upgraded than the Protoss one. And this is an attempt by Weekly to try and break the 3rd, but this is a good defensive position. That many Dragoons and an Archon, there is no chance Weekly is going to be up there. So Weekly withdraws and regroups at the bridge in front of the natural. Observer scouts the Terran army. Also, 2 high energy arbiters. Okay, here come. Oh, one arbiter gets sniped immediately. The other one is still fighting. Oh, monster stasis from 2 directions at once. From 2 arbiters, it was a beautiful stasis sandwich, and there's an Archon who is numbing up marines like there's no tomorrow. And yet again, we see that the Protoss army gathers around the stasis Terran troops to defeat them once stasis wears off. However, the difference is eventually going to be that this was the income for Weekly. He can float his main command center to a new base, but he's not getting any money, whereas Neagle has a healthy economy. So after this army gets crushed, I don't see how Weekly is going to stop Neagle from walking into his base. So it was very, very useless. And yep, just as Weekly's last army gets crushed, he GG's, and Neagle is up 2-0 in the series. And I actually took a look at the replay pack beforehand and saw, without so just scroll one and saw that there was only 1 game for the Grand Finals, whereas it's normally a best of 5. So I'm just quickly going to go to the Defiler website and see what the hell happened. There we go. Okay. All right. Apparently, the grand finals was only best of three, with Neagle starting out 1-0, since he won the winners bracket final, and so he only needed this game to win the entire tournament. Well, first of all, congratulations to him, and second of all, I apologize for thinking it was best of five. I do believe last week it was. Um so that concludes the Defiler Tour 59. Neagle wins the tournament. Weekly is second, and SJ Terror is third. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you were entertained, and see you next week. Goodbye.